How's everybody doing?
Good, how you doing?
Decent. First and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to get out there.
Right now, the Cleveland Browns building is a complete mess. And what we're seeing might be the strangest quarterback fight in NFL history. Dillon Gabriel, a rookie standout, is having trouble staying upright on the practice field. On the other hand, Shedeur Sanders is throwing dimes to Jerry Jeudy like he's already won the starting job. And the whole coaching staff is acting like he doesn't even exist. I'm not joking, people. This is a full-blown breakdown of the organization happening right now. And we have all the proof. Let me tell you what's going on in Cleveland right now, because this scenario is more complicated than your grandmother's excellent lasagna. We have practice film that went viral. We've got coaches who are making excuses. We've had reporters performing investigative journalism that would make Woodward and Bernstein happy. And Shedeur Sanders is stuck in the middle of what could be the most dysfunctional franchise situation since the last Browns quarterback controversy. Bless Mary Kay Cabot's heart. She's been doing the Lord's job out here. This woman is supposed to be covering the squad professionally, but she's really just a one-woman Shedeur Sanders fan club. And to be honest, we're all for it. She's been secretly documenting Shedeur's practice sessions, like she's making a documentary about Area 51. And the stuff she's giving out is top-notch. The video that went viral on social media shows Shedeur firing absolute lasers at Jerry Jeudy. And I'm talking about passes that are so clear they should be sponsored by a chip vendor. If you watch the video closely, you'll see all you need to know about why Brown supporters are going crazy. Shedeur is out there doing amazing footwork. His arm movement is perfect, and those passes are perfect. We're talking about tight spirals with speed, precision, and placement that would make Aaron Rodgers smile. Jerry Jeudy, the Browns' best receiver, is the one who gets these great passes, and you can tell that even he is impressed with what he sees from the young quarterback. But this is where things become interesting. Shedeur seems like the second coming of Drew Brees, but Dillon Gabriel is actually being pushed around by equipment managers. I'm not making this up. There's video of someone walking by Dillon Gabriel in practice, almost knocking him over. A person walking, not a linebacker or a defensive end, just a typical person moving through space at a normal speed. People on social media are really angry about this issue. And honestly, they have every right to be. One fan summed up the Dillon Gabriel experience wonderfully. Dillon has done a lot of 5-yard checkdowns before. He doesn't need to practice them anymore because he regularly gets 10 to 30 per game. Ouch, but also true. That's exactly what you see when you see Gabriel's college movie and the few action scenes he's done so far. Safe throws, low danger, and very boring. Ordering vanilla ice cream at a store with 50 varieties is like being a quarterback. It doesn't have any technical problems, but why would you? Let's speak about the elephant in the room, or the coaching staff that won't admit elephants exist. Over the past week and a half, Kevin Stefanski and his team have been doing something quite strange. They aren't saying Shedeur Sanders' name anymore. Not in interviews, not in press conferences, nowhere. Tony Rizzo from ESPN Cleveland looked back over 8 different news conferences, and guess what? Kevin Stefanski never once called Shedeur by name, not once. Take a moment to think about how completely crazy that is. This is a quarterback on your team, a player you're looking at, and maybe even the future of your franchise, and the head coach is acting like Voldemort is on the team. Number 2 is wearing the name that must not be spoken and throwing footballs. It seems that offensive coordinator Tommy Rees got on the excuse train earlier this week and spent what felt like 17 hours defending Gabriel and making every excuse in the book for his performance, all while refusing to even say Shedeur's name. Thank goodness the Cleveland media has had enough. This week, Tony Rizzo has been on a warpath, and his analysis is must-see TV. The man is saying things that Browns fans have known deep inside but couldn't put into words. Rizzo made the situation quite clear during his broadcast. It's the beginning of the end when your coach stops making sense. Take a moment to think about that. This isn't a hot-take artist trying to get clicks. This is a Cleveland sports writer who has covered this team through good times and bad. To be honest, he's mostly thin, and he's telling you that something is really wrong with that structure. Rizzo went on to say that Kevin Stefanski might be at the point in his career where he doesn't care anymore. You know that time when someone is so sick of their job that they are almost daring the supervisor to terminate them? That's the vibe Rizzo is getting from Stefanski right now. And guess what? It makes sense when you look at the choices being made. It's bad coaching to only let the quarterback handle the ball. You have a bright young player in Shedeur Sanders who has demonstrated nothing but calmness, maturity, and great arm talent, and you're not even giving him a chance? Dillon Gabriel, on the other hand, is out there taking sacks in important moments like it's his job. Let's look at those game circumstances Rizzo talked about because they are very bad. The game is on the line and it's 4th and 1. What does Dillon Gabriel do? He takes a sack instead of just giving the ball to Quinshon Judkins for what should be an easy convert. There are 12 seconds left in the first half and no timeouts are available in field goal range. What does Gabriel do? Takes another sack and almost costs his side 3 points. They were lucky. The field goal unit ran onto the field, and with almost no time left, Will Reichard kicked a miracle kick. These aren't blunders that newbies make. Yes, they are mistakes that beginners make, but that's the point. Dillon Gabriel is making the same mistakes that someone who isn't ready for prime time would make, but the coaches are either with him or against him, and they treat Shedeur like he kicked a dog. There is something deeper going on that we don't know about yet. Rizzo and his co-hosts spent a lot of time coming up with ideas about what could explain this strange behavior. One idea is that Kevin Stefanski got paid last year and is now financially stable enough to go down with the ship on his own terms. Another theory is that there is real tension between the coaching staff and Shedeur's camp. What that friction could be founded on is still a mystery. No matter what the explanation is, Cleveland looks bad. The team's secrecy right now is too much to handle. Press conferences have become painful ways to say nothing. Stefanski is acting like Bill Belichick, but he doesn't have the success to back it up. Rizzo said it best. He's just Bill Belichick with a better press agent. He's just as evasive, but he's younger, better looking, and more polite. It's an issue when you compare yourself to Bill Belichick only because he's hard on the media and not because he wins championships. There is something seriously wrong with the building, and even the reporters who usually get along with the group are starting to show what's really going on. Rizzo stated he would be willing to go undercover and sneak inside the building in a washing pail if he had to in order to find out what was actually going on. That's how angry we are right now. When reporters say that covering your team is like doing the impossible, you have a problem. Now let's speak about how Shedeur reacted to all of this craziness. The young man has dealt with it all with amazing grace and maturity. Shedeur talked about how he has grown as a person and as a player in a recent interview. If you read between the lines, his words are really enlightening. He talked on how to deal with different situations, how to be a leader, and most importantly, how to keep his personality smaller because not everyone gets it. Think about what he's truly saying. This is a young quarterback who is naturally charming, fun, and sure of himself. Being instructed to calm down? Why? For who? The whole thing seems wrong. Shedeur's answer to criticism from some people was spot on. He just wants to get things going. We agreed that there will be no more negativity, dude. I don't talk about anything bad. I just want to be optimistic. That's the new thing. This 23-year-old is handling a situation that looks like a circus better than coaches who are 3 times his age. He's not getting involved in drama or taking the bait. He's just keeping his head down and throwing rockets on the practice field. But here's what makes this whole process so annoying for Browns supporters. They can see what Shedeur has to offer. Every practice video that goes out, every throw that gets caught on camera, and every time he talks to his teammates, all make it clear that he is a franchise quarterback. There's no denying the arm talent. It's clear that they have leadership skills. It's clear that he knows a lot about football. But for some reason, he can't get on the field. Dillon Gabriel is also trying out for a part in a medical commercial concerning weak bones. Someone walking by almost knocked the man over. They weren't running or charging. They were just in the same physical place. How did this person get picked by the coaching staff to be their star player? What do they see in practice that makes them trust Gabriel more than Sanders? It makes no sense at all based on what the public can see. The link to Jerry Jeudy is very noteworthy in all of this. Jeudy is Cleveland's best receiver. He came here from Denver with high hopes. He knows how a good quarterback should play. He played with Russell Wilson and other good starters. You can see that he's getting along well with Shedeur because they work together a lot in these practices. That means something to you. Receivers know quarterbacks better than anyone else. Jeudy can tell that Shedeur is exceptional. We should take a step back and look at the bigger picture because this scenario doesn't happen in a vacuum. Since they came back to the NFL in 1999, the Cleveland Browns have been looking for a franchise quarterback. That's 25 years of not getting anything done, people. They've picked quarterbacks very high. They've brought in free agents. They've tried the veteran reclamation project method, but nothing has worked. The litany of quarterbacks who failed in Cleveland throughout this time is like a memorial to hopes that didn't come true. Tim Couch, Brady Quinn, Brandon Weeden, Johnny Manziel, Cody Kessler, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, and most recently Deshaun Watson. Now they have a brilliant young quarterback with a real pedigree, a guy who was the best player at Colorado when everyone was watching, and they're treating him like he's radioactive garbage. Fans are going crazy over it because it's the most Cleveland Browns thing ever. The response on social media has been off the charts. There are 2 groups of Browns fans. People who want Shedeur to get his chance now. There are people who think Dillon Gabriel should get more time, and people who have given up and are already looking forward to next season. The Shedeur truthers have been quite outspoken, making highlight reels, breaking down his mechanics, and comparing his collegiate records to those of other successful NFL quarterbacks to make the case for why he should start. And you know what? They're right. When you examine Shedeur's college footage, you see a quarterback who thinks quickly, goes through his progressions, isn't scared to throw the ball downfield, and has that it element that can't be taught. His play against Nebraska, USC, and other great teams demonstrated that he was a quarterback who did well under pressure and in big games. That's just what Cleveland needs. The timing of all this drama is also strange. We're getting close to a very important time in the season when our chances of making the playoffs are slim, but not completely gone. This is when coaches usually make changes to get the team going, to try something new if what they're doing isn't working. But Cleveland seems happy to stick with the same plan that hasn't been working. From the outside, it's quite frustrating to witness, so think about how fans who have put their money and feelings into this squad must feel. The press conference Tommy Rees gave earlier this week was very revealing. The offensive coordinator spent what felt like forever defending Dillon Gabriel's choices, his processing speed, his accuracy on short throws, and pretty much everything else except his inability to avoid sacks when it mattered most. When reporters eventually asked about Shedeur, Rees's mood altered completely. He started to dodge questions, provided vague responses, and rapidly moved on to other subjects. The difference was very clear, and both the media and fans saw it. When a coaching staff acts like this, it usually means one of a few things. There could be something going on behind the scenes with a player that we don't know about, or there could be a philosophical debate regarding the quarterback's readiness. There could also be outside pressure from ownership or the front office that is making this situation unpleasant. Because of the Browns' past and how badly their organization works, any of these situations may happen. This is even more confusing because Cleveland doesn't really need to defend its investment right now. They aren't sitting at 8-2 with a spot in the playoffs sealed up. They're having a hard time and are fighting for relevance. They really need a spark. In this kind of situation, you would expect a coaching staff to take a chance on the alternative with the most potential. Instead, they're going with a safer quarterback with a lower ceiling while the guy with star potential sits on the bench. The practice film that has come out tells a story that numbers and press conferences can't. You can see that Shedeur is confident by how he leads the huddle and how the receivers respond to him even in practice. These are things that are hard to put into words yet are very important for a quarterback. It's clear that he has strong arms and is accurate, but what truly stands out on video is his ability to lead. This is a young man who was up on a family of football stars and has been preparing for this moment his whole life. He has the mental strength to succeed at the top level. Dillon Gabriel, on the other hand, looks unsure of himself at times, hasn't exhibited the same level of command, and is making big mistakes when the pressure is on. Once more, they aren't attacks on Gabriel as a person. He is a good player on his own and did well at Oklahoma. But in this case with this team, he doesn't seem to be the answer. Still, the coaching staff seems determined to prove differently, even as more and more proof comes to light. After decades of quarterback instability, broken promises, and poor management, the Browns fans are about to lose it all. They're done with tricks and lies. They want to know. They want everything to be clear. They want to see the person on the field who provides them the best opportunity to win make plays. From what we can see right now, that player seems to be Shedeur Sanders. What happens next could change the course of this franchise for a long time. There will be consequences if Cleveland keeps going down this path, won't play Shedeur, and the season gets worse and worse. People are now publicly questioning Kevin Stefanski's job security, which was thought to be rock solid when he signed an extension. People are already criticizing Tommy Rees for how he handles quarterbacks in his first year as offensive coordinator. If the front management didn't plan to utilize specific players, they will have to explain why they picked them. This is a very important time in Shedeur Sanders' fledgling career. How he deals with this setback, keeps up his level of training even though he isn't playing, and stays ready for when his chance comes will say a lot about his character and professionalism. So far, everything points to him handling it like a pro. His maturity in interviews and refusal to create controversy or feed into negativity say a lot about who he is. It seems like everything is leading up to an unavoidable end. To use the Shedeur Sanders, will receive his chance at some point, whether it's because of an injury, poor performance, or pressure from the organization. When that time comes, everyone will be watching Cleveland to see if they made the biggest mistake of the season by keeping him on the bench. The video of the practice suggests that they have been. The strange behavior of the coaching staff makes it appear like there's more to this story. Browns fans are stuck in the middle, wondering why the team can't seem to get out of its own way. This is the kind of narrative that makes the NFL both interesting and frustrating at the same time. We're seeing organizational instability happen in real time, and it has actual effects on people's careers and the hopes of a fan base for the future. It's apparent that the talent is there, the chance is there. The only thing that needs to happen is for the coaches to be willing to pull the trigger and see what they actually have in Shedeur Sanders. As this story goes on, the people in charge in Cleveland will feel more and more pressure every time Dillon Gabriel throws an interception, every time he gets sacked, and every time the Browns lose a game. People will want things to change even more. The viral video of Shedeur throwing flawless passes to Jerry Jeudy isn't going anywhere. It will be shown again, looked at, and used as evidence. Kevin Stefanski and his team need to get this right quickly if they want to build a case for why he should start. This narrative is not over, that's for sure. We're seeing the start of something that might either prove the coaching staff's strange patience or show that they made one of the worst QB picks in Browns history. And that's saying a lot for this team, which has a bad history with quarterbacks. Right now, the football world is watching Cleveland and waiting to see how this plays out. They are also secretly yearning for the upheaval that usually seems to follow the Browns. Okay, football fans, that's the whole story about the crazy things going on in Cleveland right now. This issue is moving quicker than your timeline can update, so be sure to hit the notification bell on this channel so you don't miss any updates. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts on what's actually going on with the Browns and Shedeur Sanders. I want to hear your ideas. Let me know if you're on Team Shedeur or Team Dylan. If you made it this far, please click the like button to let me know that you care about this drama as much as I do. This is the kind of NFL craziness we love, and I'll be here to tell you about every turn and twist as it happens. Stay tuned, stay up to date, and I'll see you in the next one.